Hey, what's up guys, it's Drugain here. I'll bring you the patch 9.23 patch rundown today, the preseason patch. I missed 9.21 and 9.22 if I'm not mistaken, so I'm sorry about that. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So this is the preseason patch, right? Uh, just to clarify, I have not read these patch notes yet, but I have played like 5 to 10 games on the new patch, so I've kind of understood at least what's going on. Anyways, mid-patch updates. I guess we'll go back to these when it's relevant, because otherwise, like I'm just gonna go through the changes at first and then remember these for later. Uh, Most significantly, I guess the Sanguine Blade, right? Because I know this item was really OP. Pulsefire Trash, Prestige. I guess every skin is a Prestige now. Victorious Aatrox, kind of nice. I like Aatrox. All right, so Elemental Rifts. This preseason, we're adding more game-to-game vari blah 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 blah. After the second elemental drake of the game dies, the map will permanently transform to one of 4 elemental rifts, each with unique terrain changes that will alter the way you take on team fights, rotations, vision, and objective control. Elemental rifts don't favor a specific team. Alright, except that if you get an ocean, then I guess Rengar is OP, right? So, transformation mechanics. Transformation trigger. After the second elemental drake dies and the third is announced. Rift element same as the element of the third drake. Territorial, once the map transforms, all future elemental drake spawns will be of that element only. Terrain changes always occur in the 4 jungle quadrants centered around the buff camps as well as in Dragon Pit. Infernal Rift. So like you can walk through all the buff, I guess. And in the Drake Pit it's like more opened up. In the Mountain Drift it's the complete opposite. That it's a wall here instead, so the Dragon Pit gets a bit more closed out and there's some random ass stones and shit here. As it says what it does. The ocean is a lot of bushes everywhere. And apparently it spawns honey fruit. Water pools into puddles throughout the jungle. I guess these are puddles. So if you're running water walking, it works there. and cloud is just movement speed, right, in these thingies. And then you have the side lane alcoves, which, looking at Twitter, looking at what happened in game, people feel like this is so fucking troll and like the most useless change in the world because nobody are using it anyways. I heard yesterday from ADC in voice or in TeamSpeak that he thought that this bush was like, or the bushes rather in lane was like the most weird part because it's new bushes, right? But the alcoves in itself is a bit scuffed, but I guess people will have to figure it out. Um, and then yeah, I mean, bot lane is now 3 instead of 2. It's like in top. There's a new bush as well in the river entrance to the jungle, the blue side quadrant of the jungle. So, yeah, it's a new bush. I don't really know what to comment on it yet without trying it out, but I mean Rengar, just Rengar, I guess Blitzcrank or something like this. Like you can cheese a little bit in this, but like you should throw a skill shot in here, right? Like it should be even more natural than checking Tribush or Pixel or whatever. Like you need to check this. Alright, so Elemental Drakes. Dragon Souls. Dragon Souls are a new endgame payoff for the team who wins the Elemental Drake game. A powerful reward that's similar to an epic objective. Dragon Souls don't offer the same moment-to-moment strength as Baron or Elder, but they're permanent, and an additional bonus on top of the Drake stacks their bearers already earned. Four Drakes? I thought it was free. Alright. I thought it was that on the third, if you take it, then you get the soul, right? But I guess it's on the fourth then. Elder Dragon begins spawning after one team gains a Dragon Soul, meaning only one team can have it. only one team can have a soul, right? That's the point. So the first team who slays 4 elemental drakes gets the soul and matches the elemental rift, which is the one that were on the third drake. And you can only get that one soul, and it's permanent. So I guess if you get the 4th drake, you get it the whole game, perma. But you don't necessarily get Elder Dragon because of that. Alright, so my own clarification will be this. After the 4th drake, the soul drops and it matches whatever the rift is, which happens on the 3rd drake. So I guess when the 3rd drake hits, teams have a significant chance to prep if they actually want to contest the 4th, which you probably should, but you don't necessarily need to, depending on which drake it is, right? Or if you then contest it and you get it, then it just stalls, I guess, for one more drake, right? An Elder Dragon doesn't spawn until one team secures the 4th drake and gets the soul. So there won't be any Elder spawns until some team has 4 drakes. Alright, that makes sense to me. So Infernal Soul. Every 3 seconds, your next damaging attack or ability on an enemy unit triggers a small explosion, dealing 90 plus 0.25 bonus attack damage, plus 0.15 ability power, plus 0.03 bonus health damage to the target and nearby enemies. So it's like Old Elder-ish. It's like Old Elder-ish, I think. Mountain Soul, after not taking damage for 5 seconds, gain a shield for 225 plus 0.2 bonus attack damage, plus 0.15 ability power, plus 0.15 bonus health. So you get tanky. I mean, I guess the best scaling would be the AD. No, the health rather. I think the health is the biggest scaling one, but it's still 225 just from getting it right. Like it's a pretty decent shield. Ocean Soul. This is the one that I've seen have been the most broken one, because it goes through combat now as well, which obviously makes sense. That would be fucking OP if you can like pair it with Warmox or something, right? Ocean Shell, dealing damage to enemies heal you for 180 plus 0.4 bonus attack damage plus 0.25 ability power plus 0.1 bonus health. And restores 90 plus 0.04 maximum mana over 3 seconds. Oh, dealing damage. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So the normal ocean one is that you just get regen out of... like, that's the normal buff. That you get regen out of, or in combat, rather. But it's just health. And with the soul, you heal and restore mana from hitting people. Alright. It's like, it's different, I guess, the souls and the buffs. That's what's confusing me. So the Cloud Soul. Passively gain 10% increased movement speed, and after casting your ultimate, gain an additional 30% movement speed for 3 seconds with a 30-second cooldown. So you get a free Nimbus Cloak basically. And you get a 10% increased movement speed, which is actually not that bad. Like 10% is actually, like if you have 300, right, it's 30 extra. And I guess people usually get up to like 350, 400 movement speed. I guess, with boosts, I'm not certain. I'm bad with the numbers, sorry. But either way, it's pretty decent movement speed, right? And if you overall pair it with the buff you get from the actual Drake, which is like Ultimate CD, if I'm not mistaken, then it's kind of nice. So just looking at them, glancing over, I don't exactly know how much damage this is, but I don't think it's that much. So sure, it's a burn, but it's not like the Elder Burn, for example, the old Elder Burn rather. The Mountain Soul is decent, like this is at least can be an auto from an ADC in mid game, can be a spell, whatever. So, and obviously it scales with this, so it's gonna be bumped, right? I'm just not certain on the math, sadly. Sorry for that. I think if you're looking at souls, soul-wise, I think the Infernal or the Ocean or the Cloud is worst, just because like the Ocean just does so much for you, right? Like I'm just thinking as well if you have the previous buffs, right? Which you obviously do. because the first Infernal doesn't really give you anything. The first Cloud is like okay, but you can have Cosmic Gamefighter for that, or you can have Ultimate Hunter, whatever. But regen in combat, which also amplifies by regening when you hit somebody, which is also in combat, right? And or gaining resistances, and or getting then the shield from the mountain. I just think these two are the best overall. Obviously, it's kind of team comp reliable, but that would be my my view on it at least. So I guess this is where they go over the actual buffs then. Sorry, I need to find where the fuck I am. Elemental Drake's buffs. Blah. Infernal, just a balance pass. So instead of 10% to 24% attack damage and ability power increase scaling, it's 5 to 20. So at 4th, you get basically the same value as the last 3rd or the 2nd. So 2 Infernals is the equivalent of the first Infernal before, so it's actually not that bad late game, but early game and mid game it's kind of whatever. So the Infernal is definitely weaker. Mountain, extra damage to objective, blah 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 blah. I mean, this was so OP in high elo and comparative, right? Like if people got Mountain, especially since Baron was so fucking OP too. Like if you got 2 Mountains, you could easily get an Ash, and then if you have good team play, which you do because you're a competitive player at high elo or what it's called, like LSC, LCS, whatever worlds, you made use of it. So I like this change that you now get armor and magic resist instead. So instead of 16 to 30% scaling bonus true damage to epic monsters and turrets, it's now 8 to 32% scaling armor and magic resist. Which is, I mean, it's just a defensive now, right? But I like it. I think it's more healthy for the game at least. Ocean. We're removing Ocean's mana regen to even its power out among users regardless of resource type. That gives us room to allow Ocean's healing to continue in combat, which is a buff for any user. I mean, this change makes sense because a lot of champions don't use mana, then Ocean is kind of meh. But I'm just going to read this and then I'm going to conclude. So instead of 6 to 12% scaling missing health and mana regen per 5 seconds, when you haven't taken damage within 8 seconds, it's now 5 to 20% scaling missing health regen per 5 seconds. Mana regen move. The only problem with this, and I'm a bit late to the party because everyone has already pointed this out, is that it's OP to have regen in combat. Because what the fuck, you know? Like you're hitting people and the other guy just gets a natural self-healing for no reason. Or like he just gets it for free, right? Like, I don't know. I think this is the best by far, the Ocean. And then you have Cloud. Cloud's movement speed was powerful, but not all that exciting. We're moving the speed boost to Cloud's Elemental Rift, where we can support it with visuals. That's nice, right? And adding a different kind of haste to Cloud's buff. So instead of 3 to 6% scaling bonus movement speed, tripled while out of combat, it's now 10 to 40% scaling ultimate CDR, ignoring the CDR cap. This is nice. I actually didn't know that the last one was like 40%, but stacking Clouds is actually better now. I actually don't think that the old Cloud was that bad, but people just hated it, and to be fair, it wasn't that bad, but for example, Mountain and Infernals were just that much better, and Ocean early were just that much better, so I think the old Cloud needed some more power if it was going to contest, but I don't think it was that bad, but now it's just... I think it's a good change. I think... Like, if you know how the meta's panned out recently, like the whole last year of competitive and like all of this fighting and all this bullshit, getting Clouds, it's gonna be really hard for teams to figure out like how much CDR this guy can actually have on his ultimate when it's the ultimate actually gonna be up. So I think this change is really good for playmaking. Like it will show like mechanically good players and also those that then have the brain to try to figure out all these numbers in the heat of the moment. It will reward them. So I think it's good. Elemental Drake mechanics. With Drake's types going down to just one element after the risk transforms, we're ensuring the first few you see don't double up on elements, so you still experience a variety of Drakes in each game. Drake spawn order. Instead of random, it's now the 3 first Drakes are now always 3 unique elements. All subsequent Drakes will be the same enemy as the third Drake. Yeah, so the first 3 are always going to be unique, so you can. It's only one that ain't going to be in a game. But obviously, when the third hits, every as it says, subsequent Drake will be the same then. When they spawn, Drake spawn window is 5 minutes initial, 5 minutes respawn until 35 minutes. It's now changed to 5 minutes initial, 5 minutes respawn, and it respawns until one team has slain 4 of them, because then the Elder Drake spawns. So the first Drake spawns at 5 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, I mean that's what it must mean, right? Initial, and it has 5 minute cooldown as always. But instead of just waiting until 35 minutes and then wait for Elder, or when Elder spawns, you need to, like the team that we went over already, needs to slay 4 Drakes. One team needs to slay 4 Drakes. Then Elder spawns. Since the elemental Drake's buffs are a bit weaker, we're dropping the health of the first 2 Drakes. The Battle of the Dragon Soul begins heating up after that, so Drakes after the first 2 have more health to widen the opportunity for teams to contest. So health, 3,500 plus 240 per level, minimum level 6, to 2,650 plus 240 per level, minimum level 6, before the rift performs. And then 4,350 plus 240 per level, minimum level 6 for the third Drake onwards. So the first 2 Drakes are weaker, rather, lower health. And the ones after that are higher level. Alright? So I guess early game junglers that can take early Drake will actually get rewarded now, like more. Because it's like basically 900 less health, which is actually a lot for a jungler that solos it. Alright boys, it's Elder Drake. Up until now, Elder Drake massively favored the team that was already ahead due to scaling with Drake stats, and in Super Low games itself, we're removing that scaling to make room for power that's equally rewarding whether you're pressing a lead or making combat. So I'm not gonna go over, I guess, all of these. I'm just gonna try to figure out what the fuck they changed, right? But they basically, like the TLDR would be that they removed, obviously, the normal stacking of the Drake, so you don't get that, like this one. So if you had an Infernal Drake, Elder doesn't increase it. It doesn't burn anymore. Oh, it does burn actually. It does burn, but it's different. So I guess you can look at this. Burn damage, 45 plus 45 per elemental Drake stack, that's obviously removed. To 90 to 270 flat, through damage over 3 seconds. And then this is the estimated game time, I guess, for the damage. So it scales. And it's also that if you take 2 Elder Dragons in a row, it doesn't no longer make the game over, basically, right? So instead, Elder's new mechanic is an execute, sharpening its identity as the endgame teamfighting buff and making its impact much more obvious than the DOT and Drake scaling it used to grant. Note that the 20% threshold looks higher than it is in practice. You'll rarely bring an enemy to exactly 19.9 before they go boom. Alright. So, new, execute. Damaging an enemy at less than 20% health causes them to die in an Elder immolation after 0.6 seconds. No cooldown. Denied. Elder Immolation can't execute enemies through invulnerability effects like Sonin's Hourglass or undying effects like Kindred's R, Lamb's Respite. We're standardizing the duration of Elder and Baron to 3 minutes. So both of them are 3 minutes. I thought like Baron was 3:30 before, if I'm not mistaken. So Baron's a bit nerfed. This buff should last long enough for attacking teams to gain real advantages of coordinated power plays, but not so long that attackers come out ahead if they passively leave opponents stuck on defense for extended periods. If these durations changes make Elder too strong or Baron too weak, we'll adjust their effects accordingly. So Elder is buffed, and Baron is nerfed, time-wise, that you have it. Final note about how often Elder will actually show up in games. In a complete stomp, the earliest Elder can spawn is 26 plus time spent in combat with the Drakes. But in a game that's going even or is seeing many big forsaken, it's also possible for Elder to never spawn. So it spawns 6 minutes. So instead of 5 minutes, the Elder spawns 6 minutes after one team kills their 4 elemental Drakes, and then 6 minutes more before it respawns. The only thing I'm wondering about here, and this is why I wouldn't have done this on stream to have chat with me, was that I saw in a video that you can uke the execute. but I guess not. I don't know. I guess you guys will have to comment on this video when you see it, if you know. Obviously, you can uke it through this shit, but I thought like it's a beam, right? From my understanding, so I thought like I don't know. I saw in the video that you can uke it, but then it would fire a second one, but it doesn't say anything about it here, so maybe that was a PBE thingy that they changed right before the patch. Anyways, let's move on to my favorite objective, which I'm happy is nerfed. It's the Baron buff. We're standardizing the duration of the Elder and Baron to 3 minutes. Blah 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 blah. I mean it's the same thing what they said. So it's just instead of what is it? Instead of 3.5 minutes, it's only 3 minutes now. Which delights me. I mean, I don't know how exactly it works with all these Drake changes, but Baron was a really strong objective in my opinion. I thought Baron was insanely broken in the last season. Like, a coordinated team, you would just 1-3-1 or you would 1-4. Just sync the waves, you would take every turret, you move together to the next. Like, it was really hard to defend versus Baron, in my opinion. So, I'm happy that they changed it to 30 seconds less. I think it's a good change. But on the other hand, I have no clue how it now impacts differently with the Drake, because before Baron was like the thing, right? If you would get 2 mountains before, it would be like holy shit, now we can easily get Baron, but now it's different, right? So we'll see how it played out, but either way I like the change. Buff visuals. Visuals for blue buff, red buff, and red buff's burn effect, hand of Baron, and aspect of the dragon, in parentheses Elder Dragon buff, have all been updated. All monster buffs are non-visually cohesive, including the new Dragon Souls. I hate them. I hate these. I don't like it. I barely see what it is, you know. Like, this is Elder? Like, what? I don't like this at all. I think they look like shit. Like, I like the one before the most, but maybe it's, need to get used to it, but I just didn't like them. I don't like it yet, but when I've seen it. Top lane influence. Rift Herald. With increased importance on Drakes on both sides, we're spawning Rift Herald a bit earlier and letting her respawn once so teams don't completely abandon the top laners in favor of bot lane pressure. You know, more than they already do. I mean, I guess Riot already knows that top lane is top lane. Just as a note before this is the first thing I thought about, by the way, when they changed the Drakes, because I felt like the Drakes would be really OP. Then I was like, I mean, Rift Herald was also decent as an objective, but if Drakes are just part of that OP, and Elder Drake is part of that OP, and Baron gets nerfed, why would you ever play topside, right? But at least they're doing something with the Herald. The initial spawn is changed from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. The respawn is now new, because it's a respawn. It respawns over 6 minutes. It despawns at 1930, delayed to 1950 in combat, so that's unchanged. Yes, exactly, that's unchanged. The health is 10,000 to 16,000 scaling, levels 6 to 12 to 8.25 or 8.250 to 16,500, levels 6 to 12. So health is nerfed early. A little bit, but it also spawns 2 minutes earlier, so it's 2k health for 2 minutes. Attack speed is lower. And the note is that it's easier to poke Rift Herald's eye before she spins around. That's nice at least. Summoned Rift Herald. Alright, so you need to pick it up earlier now. That's good. If you fuck with enemies and they can't pick it up, at least it will actually now despawn. And not just later forever until somebody comes out of the base and just picks it up, like the support or something. The Herald channel is now 1 second from 4 seconds. That's actually really huge. Herald level. Average level of all 10 champions determined on picking up the Herald. So when you pick up the Herald, that's the level it's gonna have. The average of all 10 champions. Alright. So if you pick it up at level 6, then it's gonna be level 6, for example. Health 4,000 to 6,400, level 6 to 12 scaling to 3,180 to 6,360, level 6 to 12. Like, why these numbers? Like what is this, you know? Headbutt turret damage, 40% current health, 1600 to 250, 60, minimum 1500 to 1500 to 2550, level 6 to 12. so it does a little bit less early. Potentially not, because it was minimum 1500, but yeah. It doesn't drop its health, I guess, anymore, like this at least, or it doesn't. Its maximum health doesn't imply how much damage it does anymore. It's just flat. But it scales, obviously, but it's flat. Headbutt self damage is now from 25% current health to 66% current health. And one other thing I read about is that it can respawn, right? But the second one will be more powerful. And I guess this is what that means then. That it just does more later on, right? So the first one doesn't do that much, and it takes up a lot of HP. But I guess the second one also then takes the same. But it also has more health, so I don't know how that really works, if the second one is going to be like that much stronger then, but it's at least going to be stronger, objectively, so I guess that's that. Oh Jesus, I should have gotten some water before I did this, Jesus Christ. I knew it was going to be a long one, but at least it's actually not that much left, so let's keep on going. Minion XP. We're very lightly adjusting minion XP to slightly equalize the influence top and bot laners have on the game. Solo laners will level about 2% faster from minions. Yes. While duo laners or solo laners getting non-stop jungler attention will level about 2% slower. Put another wave every 5 waves adds up to an extra caster minion for solo laners and 1 fewer for bot. Alright. So solo XP. Melee 58.8 to 60.45. Casters are 29.44 to 29.76. And cannon is 92 to 93. Nice. Shared XP is melee 76 to 78 to 75.4. Casters are 38.4 to 37.12, and cannon is 120 to 160. So solo XP is slightly up, shared XP is slightly down. Turret plating. Slightly buffing turret plating durability to prevent group and push blowouts in the early game, especially with the Rift Herald changes in mind. Bulwark resistance is 25 to 35 armor and magic is preferred, 4th and 5th attacker when a blade is destroyed. Jesus. So if you hit it alone, or as 2, it's no problem, but if you hit it more, then the turret is going to have a fuck ton of resistance. Alright. Doran Shield. Melee regen increased, range regen decreased. Buffing D-Shield's regen to make it a stronger option in melee versus range matchups. So the passive is completely changed. Up to 40 health over 10 seconds when damaged by an enemy champion, and now it instead reads up to 40% health or up to 40 health over 8 seconds when damaged by an enemy champion based on missing health. 66% effective for range users or when triggered by AoE, dot, or proc effects. So even if you're playing in a melee and you get procced, it doesn't do as much, or you get like dotted. Alright. And it's weaker for ranged, so if a bot laner would start it, it's basically like a 30% nerf, even more 33% nerf. Alright. Jungle pacing. We're incentivizing junglers to prioritize farmer rather than just fitting camps in between ganks, which is basically what the whole season was. Level 2 meta, God bless. Crabs, God bless. Higher camp uptime ensures junglers have consistent access to golden XP on their side of the map, and the removal of catch-up XP deepens the cost of failed ganks. Since junglers will be able to clear their camps more frequently, we're using the golden experience a full clear grant so they don't take over games. We're also ensuring both sides of the jungle gets junglers to level 3 in their first clear. This is... I'm not a jungler, and I'm actually significantly weak at jungling compared to other roles, but I'm off-rolling rather. But this is the biggest thing for me, because red side jungle was so OP, and blue side was so weak. So if you, for example, wanted to play around bot side, which was OP as well, right? So on blue side, junglers had a very efficient clear, just clearing red side, and then walking into enemy blue. With also, then if you have better bot, they can move with you, and enemy jungler is like, fucked, he needs to cross map to top side. And then, if you want to play around bot, voila. So for me, this is the biggest thing. But it's also just, I mean, I like this, that junglers should actually farm their camps and not just catch up XP after ganking for 1 million years, even if they fail it. Especially if they fail it, right? You should kind of get punished for it. But yeah, let's read it. Jungle item XP removed. Catch up XP. Jungle items no longer grant additional XP on monster kill if you're behind in levels. Epic monsters still innately have catch up XP though. So you don't just get extra XP from your jungle item, but I mean if the camp is higher level than you will still get a lot from it, right? It makes sense. But first camp bonus XP is higher, from 120 to 165. Camp timers are now 150 from 150 decreased to 120, so 30 seconds less respawn time in all the camps. It's now 2 minutes rather than 2:30. New small camp respawn icons. If your team had vision of a small camp when it was scaled, you'll see a respawn icon on the minimum 15 seconds before respawn. This is something I don't like. I think the gameplay part of it is kind of also meh because it removes some scale to the jungle because everything has fucking timers now. But it also inflicts with the other camps, right? Because crab and buffs, if I'm not mistaken, they show up yellow when it's 20 seconds, and now these show up 15. It's something that nitpicked me, but oh, wait, never mind. They fixed it. Buff camp respawn icons. Buff camp's respawn icons change from gray to yellow 20 seconds, from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. But it doesn't say crab though. I guess crab is a small camp too. I guess everyone is 15 now. Anyways, my concerns are fixed, I guess. So it's 15 for everything now and not 20 when it turns to yellow. But I guess it's still unchanged. The other one, that is 40% when it's gray. Oh well. Krugs, base XP 247, 217 on first clear to 160. The first clear penalty is removed. Base gold is down by 5. Musk Wolves, base XP 115 to 95, so down 20. Base gold 84 to 70, so down 14. Gromp health increased by 300 from 1800 to 2100. Base XP 115 to 135, up 20. Wait, up 20? Oh yeah, because more health too. And more gold. So I guess every other camp but Gromp is buffed. Because nobody fucking took Gromp, I guess. Now you get rewarded for actually taking Gromp. Raptors base XP 115 to 95, base gold 112 to 85. Jesus. Alright, let's just speedrun the last one, I guess, because this is starting to become a very long one, but I guess that's the point of preseason. I hope you guys don't mind. I've enjoyed making the video quite so far, at least. I think the changes are actually interesting. More interesting now than if you're just playing, right? But if you're actually reading the changes, trying to figure out in your head what's going on, then it makes sense. So, lethality items. Though the item system currently has 3 lethality options, AD assassins overwhelmingly favor Duskblade and Yumos and typically skip Edge of Night. This leads to a lot of sameness in terms of how one game feels related to the next for them. We're adding 2 new options and reworking Edge to give assassin players more way to adapt their build to each game. I mean, I can't speak for Zed or Talon necessarily, but on Kiana I can really feel this. Like you would rush either Yumos or Duskblade depending on what you need. And then you would go Edge of Night if you need it, but otherwise you would just go straight into Lost Whisper most of the time, like, and or GA, like following each other. And then maybe fill out with Edge of Night, but then you could basically go whatever the fuck you want, or game is over, because you kinda don't want to go to 6 items with Kiana, right? So, it makes sense what they're saying here. I agree with it. Duskblade of Drakfar, AD increased, Blackout remove. We're taking away Duskblade's utility passive, Blackout, and giving it a bit more damage, making it the highest lethality and highest AD upgrade to Dirk. I guess from Dirk. Anyways. Total cost 2,900 gold, unchanged. Attack damage up by 5 from 55 to 60. Lethality 21, unchanged. Cooldown reduction 10%, unchanged. So what's the new one? There's nothing new about the passive, except that you can't disable wards. That's okay. So basically the only thing is that it's up by 5. It's up by 5 AD, and you can't take out wards. I actually don't know if that's worth or not. Let's just go Yumos. Yumos Ghostblade, active ghost users. It's literally the same except for 1 quality of life buff. Still buy it if you want to go fast. We're only putting this here for ease of comparison. Yumos active now allows its users to ignore unit collision for the duration. So I guess you can walk through creeps and shit. That's the point, right? That's what unit collision means. So Humus is the same, but now you have Fist passive, I guess, on your active. Updated, Edge of Night. Spell Shield now works like Banshee as well. Health increased, attack damage and lethality decreased, cost decreased. Edge of Night is the defensive lethality option, but attaching that function to an active with a steep learning curve has made it ineffective for many aspiring assassins. We're switching Edge of Night Spell Shield to a passive, making it more usable for a much wider skill range. This reliability incurs a damage cost. Edge of Night no longer grants extra AD or lethality over its components, though we bumped its health to even things out as well, or overall. So total cost is down by 100 from 3000 to 2900. Attack damage is down by 5 from 55 to 50. Lethality down by 8 from 18 to 10. Health up by 75 from 250 to 325. Removed unique active night spell. Channel for 1 second to gain a spell shield that blocks the next enemy ability power within the next level. Okay, so this is removed. And now it works exactly like Banshees, like it said. You just get the spell shield. And if you take a hit, it procs. And it refreshes after being out of damage. Or out of combat for 40 seconds. I mean, 5 attack damage and 8 lethality for, like... I mean, I don't exactly know how lethality scales, like how much you need or want from it, but just looking at the raw number, you can see that it's a difference. But it's true though that you get a free get out of jail card, right? If you get some luck, like you can just YOLO in now rather than having to press the thingies and then YOLO in. So new Sanguine Blade. Gain attack speed and lethality when near one or fewer enemies. This is the item that was in the what is called mid patch update, right? So we just need to remember what that was. But this is the most OP item in the game, I guess, from yesterday or from when Preseason started and onwards until now, I guess, when it's hotfixed. But yeah, let's read what it says. The first of our 2 new items, Sanguine Blade, offers Duskblade tier damage when you're hunting a lone enemy, but drops closer to Edge of Night levels if you're team fighting. Go 1v1 somebody, or 2v1, or 5v1, but where's the honor in that? Total cost 3000 gold, build perhaps already Dirk plus Vamp Setter plus 1k gold, attack damage 50, lethality 10. I mean, I guess this also has lethality 10, right? So I guess Edge of Night was just having a lot of lethality before. Lifesteal 15%. Unique passive, Blood Pursuit. While near 1 or fewer visible enemies, enemy champions, gain 8 lethality and 40% attack speed, level 1 to 18. Decaying over 3 seconds if other enemy champions get too close. So this is like the one-on-one item. And split pushing. I played on Renekton, and it was fucking funny because I hit so fast, you know, like turrets went down. Like, I don't know. So let's just go up to the mid patch quick. Let's see where we were. We were there. So it got its Blood Pursuit attack speed changed from 40 to 100% levels 1 to 18 to 20 to 80, so just an overall nerf. But I guess you get this item because it costs 3k gold. You get it at like level 6 or something. And then I don't know if it really is that much lower. I mean, the 100 gold is the 100 gold. I think I actually haven't tried it out yet, so I can't say how I feel from it. But just looking at the numbers, I feel like it doesn't really change that much. I think it's still a really fucking good item. But yeah, testing is required. But the overall thought I got from this item was that it was complete fucking broken. So I had a hotfix was probably in its place. Anyways, the second one, Umbral Glaive, new Blackout item. The second lethality addition and the new home of the Blackout passive. Umbral Glaive stats aren't too high, but it's also the cheapest lethality item. Pick it up if you want to black out the enemy's map. That's why the passive is called Blackout. So I guess this is like a support lethality item. Or a roamer's lethality item. But you kinda want a roamer's lethality item as well, but enough damage. You know? So I don't really know when you would buy this. I guess for Pike and shit it's really good because it just blacks out the map, as it says. Anyways, total cost 2,400 gold, build perhaps already Dirk plus longsword plus 600 gold, attack damage is 50, lethality is 12, CDR is 10, and it has the old Duskblade passive that when you spot an enemy ward or traps or whatever, then you disable them and you one-shot them. Triple damage towards I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess if it's a pink ward now, you don't one-shot it. You need to kill it once more. Or maybe I'm trolling, maybe pink wards only have 3 HP. I don't actually remember. I think it has 4, right? Anyways, TLDR would be that this is the new Duskblade anyways, but it's cheaper and does less damage. So, Serrated Dirk, Headhunter removed. I guess Serrated Dirk was just too OP compared to Caulfield's, unless you just bought it for the CR. But now you don't have this random thing anymore where you just deal 40 bonus damage for no reason, really. Like, yeah, indeed. And also, exactly, this thing disappeared right once you finished an item, so it was just a bit random that it was there. Whew! Jesus, support items. TLDR from this, what I understand, would be that you don't want solo laners to have it. So without reading this, I'm just gonna say what my support told me yesterday, and that is that you buy one item now, you stack it until 450 or 400 or whatever it is, or 500, then you get the Frostfang for free, and then when you stack that for 1k, you get the Eye of the Watcher or whatever the fuck it's called for free. So at 500 you get the free ward item, at 500 you get the 4 ward item, and you don't need to spend gold on it, right? You buy one item, you don't need to upgrade it. And that's exactly what it says here, right? Tiers, how satisfying. Support items still have free tiers, but now upgrade automatically for free as you complete their quests. 400 gold starting item, blah blah blah. Yeah, this. So in total, instead of burning 1800 gold, you burn 400 gold. And the stats are increased on each, apparently. The problem though, or the change, is that for solo laners or whatever to not abuse this, you can't buy these and farm. Because if you farm 3 out of 10 waves, then you will get a lot of reduced gold, and penalty apparently increases with a maximum of 80% reduction of gold at 50 minutes. I don't understand this one. Math. I will just skip math. So spell thieves, you don't have to hit people anymore, I guess. Or you do. But damage in spells and attacks against champions or buildings grant 15 gold, gain a charge every 10 seconds up to 3 charges. So you just get a flat now, you don't get an increased. You don't get any increased gold because your ally is nearby, I guess. I don't really understand this. It's just, I guess the TR where you speed hit people, get gold. Anyways, the Spell Thieves Edge actual item stats cost 400 gold, so that's unchanged. Ability power is down from 10 to 8. You now have 10 health, which is nice, I guess. You don't get mana reading anymore. You still get 2 gold per 10. And you still get this, like the how you stack it. You hit people or buildings. And the quest is up to 500 gold. Then, if you get 500 gold, it instantly upgrades to Frostfang for free. Now, Frostfang is nerfed. Ability power is nerfed, 20 to 15. You now have 70 health on this item. You don't get 50% mana reading anymore, and you don't get 10% cooldown reduction anymore. Your gold per 10 is up from 2 to 3. You get free wards from it, and if you earn 1000 gold with this item, it instantly upgrades automatically to Shard of True Eyes. And it's not called the Remnant of the Watchers anymore, it's called Shard of True Eyes, which I guess for this one, I think it's decent name change. Ability power is up from 35 to 60. Health is down from 200 to 150. No longer grants mana reading, no longer grants 10% CDR. Gold percent is up from 2 to 3. Your passive though is now removed, so you can't continue to get free gold from the tributes after you finish the big item, so to say. That's the big thing about these new support items. I think it's 2 of them or 3. That's a big thing. I remember 2 at least. The first is that you don't have to buy the items anymore. You just buy the first one and then the other one insta upgrade. And the second big thing is that once you get the 1000 gold from your quest, you can't get any more free gold from it. The only gold that you generate from your support item is the gold per 10. Unless you take creeps, obviously. And this is for all of the support items, right? It's for all of the support items. Spectral Cycle line. The physical flavored aggressive line. Okay, so I guess this is the... Wait, what the oh, this is new one, I guess. It's not... Oh, there's 4 different now. Okay, there's 4 different. Alright, let's just go through this then. Spectral Cycle. Cost 400. Attack damage 5. Health 10. Gold per 10 2. I mean, this is... Oh, this is the AD spell thief, I guess. It's the AD spell thieves. Alright. So, the Spectral Cycle is first. Then you have the Harrowing Crescent. Attack damage 10. Health 70. Gold per 10 3. Same as spell thieves. And then when you have completed 1000 gold with the Harrowing Crescent, you get the Black Mist Scythe. Attack damage 35, health 150, gold per 10 free, and it holds 4 wards. So now we have Relic Shield. Let's see what the different thing is. You don't heal anymore from the passive. Alright, so you don't heal anymore from the passive, but instead you can use it on ranged champions, that's the thing. So that's basically it, I guess. So I'm not gonna read this, but the TLDR for this would be that before you could execute and then heal your duo, ranged couldn't execute them, and it would heal for half. But now, new spells of war. While nearby an ally, basic attacks execute minions below 50% of their max health, 30% for ranged, and grant your ally kill gold. These effects recharge every 45 seconds, max free charges. So let's now go through the sets. The first thing I want to point out is that how disgusting do they look? These items. Like what? What are they? Like, hello? Like, these items actually looked kind of decent before, but now, I don't know. Relic Shield. Cost 400 gold. Health 50 to 30. New ability power. You have 5 ability power now, I guess. So, eat that hook from Thresh or eat that combo from Alistar, you will take some more damage, shieldings. Gold per 10 is up from 1 to 2. And then you have the how you get the gold, right? But we already went through that. After you earn 500 gold, it upgrades to Targon's Buckler. Targon's Buckler is now called Targon's Buckler instead of Targon's Brace. Its health is nerfed from 125 to 100. You now have 10 ability power on this item. You don't get 50% health regen anymore, and your gold per 10 is up from 1 to 3. Just like every other support item, you get 3 at the second one. The second tier, rather. And it does the same thing as every other. And when you have earned 1000 gold, it upgrades to Bulwark of the Mountain. And I guess Remnant of the Aspect does not sound fun at all. So Bulwark of the Mountain, I guess it's okay. Health is nerfed from 350 to 300. Ability power is 40. So, and you no longer grant 10% CDR. Is that the same for all of this? I mean, this didn't have it, right? So you don't get 10% CDR anymore at the last upgrade, and you don't get 200% health regen anymore. Gold per 10 is up by 3, just like everyone else, and you have 4 rewards. So the AP is, I guess, added because there's ranged champions now that can buy this. So usually ranged supports are AP, right? So that's that. So this is also a new item, right? It is. It's a new support line, and it's, I guess, the fucking AD equivalent of Relic Shield. So I guess you have the AP Relic Shield and you have the AD Relic Shield. That's right. Alright, so you have AP Spell Thief and AD Spell Thief and AP Relic and AD Relic. Alright, then I'm actually on board with what the fuck's going on here. So, Steel Shoulder Guards line. Steel Shoulder Guards cost 400 gold, health is 30, attack damage is 3, gold percent is 2. It has the same Spoils of War passive, that if you kill something, you get gold, you share it. Earning 500 gold upgrades into Rune Steel Spalders, which has 100 health, 6 attack damage, and gold percent is 3. And then the third upgrade is called Pauldrons of White Rock. Pauldrons of White Rock, kids. I don't know about that. I think Riot actually just ran out of ideas. I mean, the Bulwark of the Mountain is decent. Black Mist Scythe is nice. Shard of True Eyes, it's, I guess, decent, but Pauldrons of White Rock. Removed Ancient Coin line. Coin is complete goners, where Spell Thieves established itself as the aggressive support item line. Ancient Coin and Relic Shield overlapped in rewarding more defensive attrition-based playstyles, with the switch towards allowing range champions to use Relic Shield. We're retiring the Ancient Coin line. I mean, Coin was a bit poopy item because you got rewarded for not doing fuck all, so I don't mind if it's gone. Whew! Shirayla is changed. Grants health / health regen / heal and shield power instead of ability power / movement speed. Range increased, build path updated, cost decreased. We're sharpening Shirayla into an engage / disengage tool that's specifically for enchanters, whose main function is buffing their allies rather than leaving it as an ambitious flex pick that mages support can also spec into, given they got items that help them peel for the team. Tank supports have Righteous Glory, so all 3 support archetypes are covered. I want to save some energy, so I don't want to dive into all of these changes, but the TLDR, what I understood from Shirayla's is that you don't get as much AP from it anymore. Which is here, no longer grants 40, you don't have the movement speed anymore, but you instead have healing and shielding power and health regen, which is like what support wants, right? And the range that you can grant the movement speed from, and also how long it reaches, is up. So it's just basically a better support item now rather than a mage item. So champions like, I don't know, Vladimir that abused this really hard don't just get a free dive in the enemy backline anymore. So I don't mind it. I think it's good. I mean, it's nice for supports that actually want to use it, like Fiddlesticks or Karma. I mean, maybe Fiddlesticks doesn't want to use it anymore because of the AP removal, but like Karma, for example, I like it. Jesus, energized and crit items. I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna go into the energized instantly. So energized sap, damage from energized effects now stacks, rather than choosing the highest damage source. Alright. Keep moving, energized charges from moving increased by 20%, charges from attacking reduced by 50. So if you move you increase it, if you attack you don't get it as fast anymore. Demolitionist, energized effects now always works on turrets. Alright, so I guess you can... What do you mean now always? I don't know what didn't work before on turrets, but apparently now all of them do, so why not? Updated Storm Razor. Energized damage increased, slow is stronger but shorter, now grants crit, attack damage, attack speed decreased. Okay, now grants crit chance, attack damage, and attack speed decreased. So, build path updated, cost increased. Total cost 3100 to 3200. Build path BF Sword, Longsword, Kirche's Shard at 50 gold. Is now BF plus Cloak of Agility plus Kirche's Shard and 400 gold. Attack damage is down by 5, crit chance is up by 25 from non-resistant. Attack speed is down from 30 to 15, energized damage is up from 50 to 120. Energized slow is 40% decaying over 1.5 seconds to 75% for 0.5 seconds, non-decaying. So you're slowed for this completely for 0.5 seconds. No longer amplifies other energized effect by 35. So the Storm Razor can now crit. So it's nice because it's a crit item. Or something that usually crit AD's build into other crit items, so that's that. Attack speed lower though. But your energized damage is higher and the slow is more, but I mean I don't exactly know what to think of this, just off the top of my head, but I like that they added crit. I guess that's the big thing for me. Rapid fire cannon. Energized damage higher early, lower late, no longer increases energized charge rate. We're leaving RFC's blah 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 blah. Energized damage 60 to 140, level 1 to 18 to 120 flat. No longer causes energized effects to work on turrets, because that's baseline energized functionality now. What? So I guess they remove... Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess before, if you had rapid fire cannon, every other energized effect would also work on turrets, but now every energized effect works on turrets, so that's that. Alright, that's the I get it. No longer increases energized charge rate, so if you have rapid fire, it doesn't mean that there's storm resist stacked fire, alright? Or faster. Static shift. Energized damage higher early, lower late. Lightning bounces increased, lightning no longer crits. So energized damage is 60 to 140, level 1 to 18 scaling to 120 flat. Shield lightning bounces are 5 to 7. This is really good. Shield lightning can no longer crit, it's like that. Okay, I mean you can't crit anymore on the lightning, but you have way more damage for a very long time, and it even bounces more. Alright. And Shiv can proc on turrets now. Actually, this is... I think across the board it's a buff to Shiv. That it can't crit is a bit unfortunate, but... I mean, you usually get the second item anyways, right? If you would get it for 6... If you would get it at your 6th item, then... It's probably a nerf, right? Or 5th, but... If you get it second item, it's a buff for certain, I think. Kirchage swords, energized damage increase, cost increased. So you get 20 or 30 damage for 100 gold. Not bad. I mean, this is just because this item was so yikes to buy, I guess, because it didn't really do anything. But now you actually get a bit of a bigger punch if you buy it. Brawler's Gloves are now removed. RIP. Cloak of Agility is increased by 5% the crit. That's nice, I guess. Seal is 200 goals more. Since Brawler's Gloves is removed, it builds out of Cloak of Agility plus Dagger instead. Crit chance is up by 10. Attack speed is down by 3. And you still have 5% movement speed. So 200 gold for 10% crit basically, and 3% minus attack speed. I mean, I actually don't know if it's worth the gold, but I suppose it is. I'm just gonna let it be. It's just seal. Phantom Dance's build path is updated since you can't buy Brawler's Glove anymore. So instead it's Dagger, Seal, and 900 gold. Zodian is removed from Summoner's Rift, which is a blessing, especially for me as a mid laner, but not if I'm playing Renekton. But top lane was a bit yikes because of this item, especially Jax and Renekton and shit like this that used Spear of Zodian really well. It's just an unhealthy item, I think. But it's still an ARAM, so I guess if I get Renekton in ARAM, I can still live my life, you know, that's good. Remove Cicero Portal, because why the fuck would you ever build this item, and why does it exist in the first place? Omewrecker, same thing, goodbye. Raptor Cloak, yeah, nice, you can't buy fucking Cicero or Omewrecker anymore, so remove Raptor Cloak too, nice. Item set, blah. Klepto is removed. I could talk about Klepto for 1 hour, but I guess this video is soon up in 1 hour anyways, so let's just not. Let's just say that Klepto is an RNG rune, which sometimes gave you insane advantages in lane, and sometimes it didn't do fuck all, but overall, the bigger thing for me was that it changed how you can play champions. Because if you take a slower champions, for example in top lane, like a tank, enemy range champions that usually would go into like Airy or Conqueror or whatever, could just go Kleptomancy and get a lot of free gold for free, basically. And Inspiration 3 is really strong. So you would just get this, you would farm Klepto, you would still get to your items, right? Accelerated, and Bruisers accelerated is really strong. Because Bruisers are supposed to be half this in the lane, and then be good in side lanes or team fights or whatever. And then tanks usually also have decent lane, but are also weak in split push, but strong in team fights, right? But then because of this rune, the Bruisers or the harassers, rather, lane bullies, got so strong early that the tanks couldn't keep up, because how can they, right? And it was just because of the rune. So I'm happy it's removed. Prototyped Omnistone, I'm not gonna talk that much about. I haven't seen it yet in place. I have no clue. I think this is like a really fucking meme rune. But what it basically does, TLDR for people that haven't played yet, or whatever, for whatever reason you will now watch my patch rundown before you have even played the game. I don't mind you for doing it, but you get a random rune. And that's it. Conquer. True damage conversion removed. Healing is now post mist. You have more stacks. Melee champions now gain double stacks. Alright. So Conquer TLDR would be that it doesn't heal, it doesn't do true damage anymore, it heals more, it stacks more, so it grants you more adaptive force, right? So it's like Fervor on steroids, I guess, because I think Fervor before just gave you the AP and AD, or which would now be adaptive force, but Conquer also heals you, right? And the bigger thing, I guess, is that it also, like, your stack duration is 8 for range 2, which is kind of nice. And your max adaptive force is obviously stronger, right? Because you have 10 stacks. Aftershock changes. So you do more damage early. Your damage scales now with bonus health rather than max health, so you get awarded for actually buying health items. Cooldown decrease, though. Cooldown is the biggest thing, I guess. Like, the resistances are lower early, right? Yeah, they're lower early, but if you buy resistances, you get more from it. The damage is just increased, I guess, overall. But the cooldown being 15 seconds lower is actually kind of huge for Aftershock. I mean, this early change is really huge, though, because it's like 35 resistances early. It's like a lot, right? But, yeah. So Aftershock is just, it's nerfed for people that shouldn't take it, like Lysandra, and buffed for people that should take it, like tanks. That builds resistances. Press of Mind is updated, so instead of refunding ult cooldown and getting mana, now it increases mana or energy pool. And restores energy as well if you kill somebody. So when you do a takedown, so when you kill somebody or you're a part of assist, instead of restoring 20% of your maximum mana and refund 10% of your ultimate's cooldown, you instead restore 20% of maximum mana or energy and increase your maximum mana by 100 up to 500 or your maximum energy by 10 up to 50. And I only played Akali with this so far. And it felt really nice when you had the 50 energy more, like it's one more Q, right? Or it feels like one more Q basically. So that's really nice. Nimbus Cloak now procs off summoner spells instead of ults, which I didn't know until now actually. Because I played Nimbus Cloak in ARAM and I was wondering what the fuck I didn't get movement speed when I ulted. So exactly, it's actually true. They turned Nimbus Cloak into the Cloud Drake's Dragon Soul, right? Where you get movement speed from ulting. So instead of Nimbus Cloak being Nimbus Cloak, now Ocean Drake's Soul is Nimbus Cloak, and Nimbus Cloak is Nimbus Cloak, but it procs on summoner spell cost. So if you flash, you get movement speed, I guess. I'm just gonna go through the stats and go next, to be honest. Proc on ult cast. 2. On summoner spell cast, speed boost is 100 bonus movement speed for 2.5 seconds, decaying over the last second to 15 to 35% movement speed for 2.5 seconds, depending on summoner spell cooldown. So if you flash, I guess you get a lot of movement speed. Long cooldown. Yeah, it says this flash teleport is the long cooldown. That's 35%. Medium cooldown is 25% movement speed, and that would be heal, ignite, cleanse, exhaust, ghost, barrier. Short cooldown would be 15% movement speed, so that's hex flash, smite. So is W, I guess. Fuck me, that Zoe gets a like even more movement speed. And Aeron's mark. But I mean, if you heal or ignite, or exhaust in a combat or any of this. Actually, Nimbus Cloak might not actually be that bad. I like this because it's a bit more experimental and different. Because when you ult, you just ult. It's the same for everything, but now it's different movement speed for different summoners, and it's also something you can't really take into account for because never ever before have you gotten an instant movement speed surge from casting your summoner, right? If I'm not mistaken, except Ghost, obviously. So it's a new part of the game, which is interesting to me. Senna, no longer gains double stacks on ARAM. Cool. Twisted Tree Line is complete gone. This is actually a bit personal for me because those who don't know, when I was leveling my account from level 15 or something to 30, I was like one trick on Twisted Tree Line 3v3 playing Fiddlesticks. And also when I hit 30 I played a lot of 3v3 ranked because, I don't know. I mean, I need to get this one, I guess. I played so much 3v3 when I leveled actually. From level 15 to 30 only, basically. I was one trick in Fiddlesticks. So, but now I don't really mind that Twisted Tree Line is going. I mean, it can really go fuck itself. Like, I guess it's fun for those who play it, but it's apparent that Riot is more so focusing on their new games and TFT and all this bullshit. So it makes sense that they removed Twisted Tree Line. I also think it's not that popular of a map, or was rather. So it's gone now. Rest in peace. Until next time. SS Emporium. The SS Emporium returns for preseason from November 25 to December 10. Spend your blue essence on icons, chromas, and more. Nice. Nice. So in 3 days I can spend my blue essence. Cool. And then finally, boys. Finally, we're at skins. Postfire trash. I mean... No. What am I looking at? For me, it looks like a new champion. If I would look at this the first time, maybe here the hook gives it away, right? But it doesn't look like trash. Victorious Aatrox looks a bit boring, but I guess every Victorious skin does that. Like, it doesn't look that good in my opinion, at all. But it's a Victorious skin, so why the fuck not? I guess I'm just gonna go up to this and do the recap. I'm not gonna go through it. Anyways, the recap would be that the map is changed, or the map changes with Drakes. The Drakes change are the biggest part of the preseason. Herald is changed, you can now spawn 2 of them. I mean, I don't really have much to say, right? Go figure out the Drakes changes and the item changes, that's it. Go figure out that. And have some fucking fun in preseason, that's what I'm doing. I think this was a very long one. I have no clue how long the timer was, but I think it was a very long review. I hope that I did it all right. I felt like I did it all right. Not that much hiccups, like going through the points fast and easy. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I would appreciate if you leave a comment below what you thought about the patch rundown, or a comment on Twitter where I post the video. It would be really great. And I guess apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next patch rundown or my next stream highlight if I ever do one. Because I need to stream for it, right? But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyways, I appreciate all of you that watched this, and enjoy your preseason. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Dragain out.